Hello, I'm Robin Henning, and welcome to another Exchange Life Nugget of Truth. We're going to wrap up our look at Paul's armor illustration in Ephesians 6 by looking at his personal prayer requests. He simply asked the Ephesians to pray for him to have utterance and to be bold in proclaiming the gospel. Now, what does he mean when he asks for utterance? It simply means that he wants to be able to speak the words that are clearly communicating the gospel to his hearers. Have you ever worried that you won't know how to correctly answer someone's questions or you won't have the right words to say? Well, can you imagine Paul being concerned about this? Well, I think his concern was focused on his words being from the Holy Spirit as he allowed the mind of Christ to establish his words and his responses. And this idea is the same thought behind Jesus' encouragement to his disciples when he tells them not to worry about what they'll say when they stand before kings to give an account for the hope that was in them. He promised them that the Holy Spirit will give them utterance, or the words that are going to effectively communicate the gospel at that moment. Folks, it's a perfect example of the Spirit-filled life. Now, Paul, his next request is for boldness. Really? Seriously? Paul? How could he struggle with fear or being timid? Well, I suppose that Satan would often remind him of his chains, of being stoned and left for dead, of being mocked, of being harassed. I mean, I'm sure Satan constantly was rehearsing those things in his mind. So if Paul had a moment of weakness of flesh, I would imagine that he might hesitate at sometimes in thinking, do I really need to go through any more of this hardship and this suffering? And the reality is, that, folks, that when we're walking after the flesh, the only thing that we're concerned about is ourselves and preserving our own personal peace and happiness. So when an opportunity comes to share the gospel, maybe the enemy's chirping at us, activating our flesh, saying, do I really want to catch flack from them or be mocked by them or get in trouble at work or whatever, so we allow fear of rejection and fear of harassment to make us be quiet. It's really not what God has for us. So it's when we have to reset our mind on walking in the power of the Spirit, of asking the Lord to give us opportunities to share the gospel, of asking Him to establish our thoughts with His thoughts so that we're accurately conveying the message of the gospel, and trusting Him that He's going to give us the answers to their questions to counter the negativity of our culture today. So as we use every element of the armor, as we're equipped with the helmet, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, having shod our feet with the gospel of peace, that we're taking up the shield of faith and the sword of the Spirit, we're going to be equipped to advance against the enemy's strongholds, the lies that he's established in our culture and in the individuals that we encounter. And the Holy Spirit, as He fills us and speaks through us, He'll give us the words or the utterance, and He'll give us the boldness to go forward and proclaim the gospel and see people come to faith, see believers encouraged, and proclaim truth in a world that is actively trying to throw off truth. So I hope, beloved, that you're going to take time to think about this. I hope it encourages you. I hope it challenges you. And I hope that you're going to ask for opportunities, and I hope that you're going to seek the filling of the Holy Spirit so that He speaks through you with boldness no matter what. Have a blessed day in Jesus.